We'll go ahead and start at 7:02, right on time. We got 10 people here. My name is Stephen Perez, and I am the Director of Education and Training for WILOA. Today is March 10th, 2026, and this is a meeting for new high school lacrosse officials. Thanks for joining us, Pat. On the call right now is me as the host. Don is our treasurer. Pat is a very experienced official out of Madison and does observations and helps the WIAA. I do not know Brad Brown, Ryan, Quill, Randy's here and read AI meeting notes. So Brad, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hey guys, my name's Brad. I'm pretty sure I've worked with you before, ref and youth. I've been doing youth probably 6 or 7 years now.
Okay.
Just finally got out of college. I'm in the Air Force National Guard out in Travis, California right now doing some training, but I get back in about a week. So I'm excited to take on high school reffing and look forward to working with you guys.
Well, welcome and stay safe in Travis, man. How's the weather?
It's beautiful. 75 and sunny.
I know, 75 and sunny. It's like my buddies that live in the Bay Area. They're like, "Oh, I had baseball today. It was 70."
Yeah, it's great out.
Woo-hoo. It was like, "Oh, it's so cold. It's 58." It's like, "Oh, stop." Thanks, Brad. Ryan, can you introduce yourself, please? I don't know you.
Yeah, hi. Ryan Vollenberg. I'm new to reffing. I had a kid that came up through lacrosse, coached him in youth a little bit, fell in love with the sport. And now he graduated high school and is off to UW lacrosse. So just looking to, stay involved in the sport, and thought officiating might be a good way for me to do that.
That is a fantastic idea. Welcome. I hope that you stick with it. Let's see, Mark Jameson started off as a dad and was at a table working the table before he started officiating. And there was another guy from the Sun Prairie.
Randy Cohn.
Did the same thing. Randy Cohn. The guy from Steve from Wanakee did the same thing. So Ryan, welcome. And you are, what city are you in, or who would be your assigner? You're the Madison area.
I'm live in DeForest, Windsor area. So Madison would be it for me.
Okay, cool. And Quill?
Yeah, my name is Connor Quill. I actually am still currently a player at Concordia, Wisconsin right now.
Oh, man. What about that great game that we had with Carroll?
Oh, yeah. That, good Lord. But no, I'm new to officiating. Looking to try and get into it after my playing days are done. So,
dude, it's a great. I started when I was in college, and like officiating is a high paying part time gig. And so,
yeah, for sure.
And if you could work year round, pick up a couple of different other sports. So, what position do you play, Connor?
I am currently short stick defense.
Oh, Jesus! Good for you, dude. Like short stick middies are. If you're doing a great job, you can do whatever you want, because I'm not going to call anything on you because you're working your ass off. So
I just got to stay on side. That's all I care about.
At least you recognize it. I had an argument the other day with the coach. They were doing a 10-man, and the kid was offsides. And then he was like, he wasn't offsides. I was like, he was offsides twice last year too. So we remember. But anyway, all right. And Randy, you're here.
Then Don Felter.
Oh, Don's here. Okay.
He's new.
Don, how are you? Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Don Felter. First year to lacrosse, played in high school and some boxing, college. Did football this year, did wrestling. My daughter wrestles in high school. And I heard there was a shortage of officials. So I said, what the hell, I'll sign up and do lax for some good old punishment.
No, dude.
So
it is not a punishment. Thank you. You played box. Box is my favorite sport to ref. And so Don and me, Randy, and Don do box. And so
and Matt.
Oh yeah, Bach. I didn't even see you there. I got to scroll down. So it's like half of the people are new, and half of us have some experience. So welcome all questions. Whenever I ask problems, questions, concerns, please share. because for the new officials that are new to high school, this can be a daunting task. And moving from fan or dad or player to official can be confusing. It could be very rewarding and could be very frustrating because shit doesn't go the way that we want it to, but that's all right. I posted the link to the survey in the chat. I've been starting off with a quote. Well, let's see. We'll get to that in a minute. High school training for newer high school boys lacrosse officials. The goal to develop our officiating skill set using your individual skills and commitment to improving. Think and respond. You've heard this before. In sports, you often hear it's not where you start, but how you finish. What does that mean to you? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. We have like a small group of people. I'll give you a moment to think about it, and then we can just share out loud. I'm watching my watch. We'll take 30 seconds to think about it. In sports, you often hear it's not where you start, but how you finish. Don Rohr, what does this mean to you?
As an official,
it doesn't matter, man. It
doesn't matter. Well,
no.
It means that you can always work to get better. Is what it means to me, and that wherever you are now isn't necessarily where you're going to be at your peak or at your the very end when you're done.
Okay, thank you.
Whether that's higher or lower.
Matt, you are a coach and an official, and that I've known you. I don't know. I've never witnessed your playing experience, but Matt, what do you think? Did you ever use this quote with your kids?
Maybe not to this degree, but in certain cases I have. We kind of use it in more of a, I guess, in a motivation kind of aspect. So it's not really like, what's a good way to spin this? Probably even through like the college training, we hear it a bit where they say, make sure you put in the effort that you have in the first quarter that you have in the fourth quarter, because that's usually when your experience may start to catch up with you a little bit.
Okay.
You can really start to hone those skills and focus on what's going on. And then when you do, everything starts to work a little bit better.
Cool. Randy, you were a coach and a dad and an official.
And I also do box.
And you also do box.
Actually, I used this quote in a different text. I always told them when we started the year, I don't care how many games you lose, you only got to win the last 5 to be the state champion. So
there you go.
It was that. As an official, the great Tim Kelly once told me, you'll never call a perfect game, because if you do, that's your last game you should ever do. So you're always looking to do something, pick up something that you're just not doing right that day. Doesn't mean that you're wrong. You're just not doing it to the best of your ability.
Okay. Connor, what does this mean to you?
I would say this means to me like mistakes are going to happen. So use those mistakes to make it so that you respond in a way that you end the event, the day, or the season better than you started it.
Okay. Thank you. Like that. Brad? Can you share?
I remember my freshman year at UMass Lowell when we played Yale in February and lost by 16. I remember hearing this exact quote. It's not about where you're at when you're playing in February, but when it comes to the American East play towards the end of the year, when games start getting more important, you're playing your conference games, playing to get to the NCAA tournament. That's when shit gets real. Cool. So, I mean, perfecting your craft as the season goes on. When that goes to be with reffing, you're going to make mistakes early on. But as you get towards those more meaningful games in April and May, you got to be locked in and ready to go, just like the players.
Thank you. To me, I look at it as like, what I heard, I agree. We're going to make errors. And what I seek to understand is how not to make that same error again. Was it my positioning? Was it my field of vision? Was it a lack of focus that caused me to do that? And then identify that. And then I work towards not letting it happen again. If it's the first time I see it, then great. I can add it to my inventory of experiences. But I look at it as like, okay, I'm going to goof up. I just don't want to goof up twice. Don, what does this mean to you? Don Felder, not Don Rohr.
Yeah, to me, it just means finish strong. I don't know, like in other sports I've officiated, I don't know what it is about the first like wrestling match or the first set of downs in football, but I always feel like I'm rusty. But as the game goes on, I kind of like hit a stride and a comfortability. And, to me, if you finish strong, that's usually what people remember.
Yep.
So I guess when it comes to officiating, that's kind of what I think of.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. All right. What I want to do tonight is I want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into officials' positioning and the face-off. As on the returning officials call, and Randy says this in his pregame, there's two things that we have to get right as lacrosse officials. One is the face-off, and the other one is officiating the crease. So tonight, I want to talk about face-offs, particularly officials' positioning, really trying to introduce the idea of there's like 10 things we got to check. How can we be efficient in checking those things, and then also being consistent, and then learning from have a couple of NCAA video or a couple of NCAA face-offs. Let's watch them to see how those officials work. And so that's what I want to do tonight. Questions about any of the agenda items about what we're going to talk about. And then after face-offs, we're going to get into kind of where we flow onto the field in the 2-man and 3-man systems, and then talk about a little bit about coverages, and then out of bounds plays, or whose line responsibilities. Because I think as you gain experience, it'll become a pet peeve. It's like, that's my line. Why are you blowing my whistle? So officials positioning in the face-off. All right, in the 2-man face-offs, the red X is our lead left, and the gold X's are for the official 2 suggested positions. One is on the midline, and from this position, you are looking straight down the midline. You get a great look at the verticality of the crossheads. You get a great look at the positionings of the crosses. You get a great look at that front hand being on away from the line. You get you can see if the player's head, his cabeza, is over the line, which is legal, but you lose, is it in the neutral zone? Another suggested position is perpendicular to the midline. Perpendicular to the midline gives you a great look at tops to stops. It gives you a great look at both players' entire body is to the left of the cross. It gives you a great look at keeping that thumb off the plastic. What you are going to miss in this position is if the crosses are tinted, meaning leaning over, getting that A-frame tint going. And sometimes, depending on this player's position, you lose a little bit of sight of where this player's body position is. If both of them are cheating, again, I think that as long as they're okay with each of them cheating, I have no problem with that. I try to change things up during the game. You might find a preference if you have a dominant face-off player that wins and pushes forward, then perhaps this is not the best spot. If you have players that are battling in front, and you have wing guys coming in very hard because they can't get control of the ball, this might not be a great spot. But I would suggest, as the administrating face-off official, to try each of these. As a newer official, I would encourage you to be set. Like pick your spot and stand there. You'll see college officials that will put the ball down and then move back and then call or say set and blow their whistle while they're moving. That takes some experience. I've also seen guys fall down like that. I've also seen guys get tripped up like that. And I think that if we are set in a position, then covering the shadow. Okay, is that better? It's covering the slideshow. Matt, is that better?
Yep, all good now.
Okay, cool. I was trying to figure it out. Sorry about that. I, as a newer official and as an experienced official, if the rules say that we can be set or not moving for the face-off, I get a better look whenever I'm set or not moving and can watch the entire play. Questions, comments, concerns, opinions? Anybody want to offer, like, I like this one better because?
I agree with you, Steve. As the attending face-off official, the less movement you have, the more you can see, and the less you're going to make the two face-off guys jump. I like, well, I run the whole game with the whistle in my mouth. If you do, at least for face-off guys, have your whistle in your mouth, because the players will see you bring your arm up to your mouth, and they're already anticipating when you're going to blow the whistle. You're trying to make it so they can. It's a free, fair face-off. That's just my 2 cents on it. But yeah, I don't like the move on a face-off.
Thank you, and we will get to that in a minute. So our basic positioning, I spend a lot of time focusing on the administering official. Your helper official is in a 2-man system, is closer to this attack box, preferably 3 yards up, 5 yards in, or at a 45-degree angle. So even at this distance, you can still see the gaps between the helmets. So sometimes in either of these positions, it's hard to tell if a kid rolls. So you say set, you go down, you go set, and then they start rolling with their head in, with their cabeza in. You can see that from this spot as well as you can if you are on the same angle inside the soccer circle. And so that is what the helper official is watching until the whistle blows, and then once the whistle blows, he is watching the actions of the wing players and assisting with possession, the possession call here, and then once that's determined, the helper official will either move into the lead position or become the trail. Did I have a 3-man? 3-man face-off. And the 3-man face-off, again, it's suggested that the administering official, the single side official, is perpendicular to the midline or on the midline. The helper official here is 6 to 8 yards away from the center X at a 45-degree angle. This person it's now suggested that this person is always there. We used to move that if this person was here, then he would be here. If this person was here, then they'd be there. But that has changed. So get at a 45-degree angle to the face-off spot, and you are going to assist. If you are the helper official, you are watching this official here because he is setting the field, and that means that all the players are counted and both teams are in a legal position to commence play. Your arm is up to signal that we're not ready, and then once the field is set, you point towards your goal. The administrating face-off official gets his cue from the helper official, so they're looking at each other. The blue is looking at red. Red is looking at blue. Blue tells yellow that the field is set, and then we can go ahead and go. All right, let's get into this. Placement of the ball. We get the ball from Nathan. There is Don can put that in the chat again, if you could, Don, please. Nathan is here and he wants the survey. Placement of the ball at the beginning of the game or after a goal. The administering official is going to put the ball on the midline. We're going to put the ball on the midline. Before placing the ball, inspect the area along the line to ensure that neither player is disadvantaged because of field conditions such as one hand is put into a divot or a player's foot is in a puddle. We were at Edgewood last week, and where the face-off X should have been, there was a soccer divot, and so we had to move the ball away from at least like 44 inches away from the middle of the field, so that a player wasn't putting his hand in that divot or the ball in the divot. After that, place the ball as close as possible to the middle of the line. I like to put the seam of the ball facing up, and especially for my high school kids, because I talk to them because the ball has to be in the middle of their crosses. So usually they have the middle little hole on their crosshead unstrung, and so I ask them to put that empty hole on the seam of the ball, and that's the middle of the cross. Sometimes it's been my experience in working with high school kids. They may not know that when we're talking about tops to stops, that if they put the ball in the middle, they should be tops to stops. And a lot of them don't get a lot of coaching, so they come in and they want to put the ball at the throat of the cross, and then when you move them, they think that that's not normal. So I like to put the seam of the ball up, so I can say, look, put the seam of the ball in the middle of your cross, and the middle of your cross is here. And if that hole is strung, I tap on them, like, put the ball right here, put the ball on that line, right on that part of your cross. And oftentimes that helps. And one kid was like, wow, you really pay attention to this. And so my takeaway from that is like, it demonstrates my conscientiousness. And if I'm putting the ball like that, then they aren't going to be able to cheat too much, because that's how much I'm watching it. Player and official position. The players will stand facing the goal that their team is attacking. It's not unusual for kids to forget what direction they're attacking, especially if quarter changes. They might come out wrong, or if there's a lot of goals and you get a face-off guy that hasn't faced off in a while, then sometimes they line up. It's always good to double check, because it happens at every level that players will go to the end where they started during the second quarter. So make sure that they're facing the goal that their team is attacking. Once the official has placed the ball in the midline, that's when I would suggest that you move into position. And then once you're in that position, and before staying down, start with the player's feet and scan upwards to check the legality of body position and the legality of the grip. The palm up grip has been in a requirement for a few years now. So players just stand there with their hands in legal position and their feet, kind of like they're once the ball is placed, they're standing there talking, and they'll adjust their feet to move into position. And so go ahead and check that, because if you can take that time and be more efficient, so you don't have to check it later, or once they're down, you don't have to move them. Down. The down command should be audible to both players in an authoritative tone. A lot of officiating is tone and presentation. So you want to make sure that the players hear you, and it's not a question. So it's not down, because that doesn't lend to your presence of control in command. So it's down. After the command, and once the players are down, you may adjust the player or players who is or are not meeting the criteria for a legal face-off. My suggestion is to give specific directions for adjustments. White, move your cross 1 inch to the left. Because if you say move your cross, they're going to move it like a 1/16 of an inch and the ball's at their throat. So I give them very specific directions. I give them distances and what they need to do. So yeah, if it's move your cross 1 inch to the left, move your left hand off the midline using the color. Sometimes the kids will forget what color they are, like what color their uniforms are. And so if no one's moving, especially if it's the first time, I'll bring them up and I'll remind the player, I'm like, you're going to be blue and you're going to be white. And so that way they're like, oh, okay, I didn't know. Questions, comments, concerns, tips, my veteran officials, how do you handle this? Some guys grab the crosses and move them. I don't touch the crosses. Feelings on touching the crosses. Matt, Don, Randy.
I only do that in youth.
You grab the crosses?
For like little kids who don't know what's going on. In high school, they should be able to listen to directions and figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, some guys.
I'll only touch the youth sticks because you literally have to put them in position. Because just giving them verbal commands, they really don't know what they're doing.
It's awesome when they have their name on their helmet. They're like, "How do you know my name?" Because I can read.
Whereas in high school, it's just move, 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 and if they don't, then I just stand up. Yeah. We're going this direction.
Yeah. After down comes set. After your scan of legal body position and down command, you'll say set. The set command should be audible to both players and in an authoritative tone. After set, the whistle can be sounded. You can go down. Set whistle, it can be down. Set whistle, you vary your cadence. And so vary your time in between the set and your whistle. The goal is, like, whenever you're being college observers want us to go from down to set to the whistle in about 8 seconds. Right now, as a newer official, it's going to seem like really quick because you're still checking stuff, but aim for around 10 seconds. So it's down and then do your checks, do your scans. Is everything legal? And on our survey tonight, I'm asking you to go through those criteria just to kind of stretch your brain and get you looking for stuff. But down, set, whistle. My kind of cadence, I like getting the players off quickly. So I'll say down, and I hold between down and set because that is where I hold. But then once I say set, I have my whistle real quick because I don't want to give them time to screw up. I don't give them time to go early. That's just me. And I like having face-offs. I'm not trying to take the ball away from people. I like face-offs. I talk to my face-off players a lot to make sure that they can hear me, to make sure that I am putting them in position to have a fair face-off. Other experienced tips and advice from others? What do we got?
I'd just like to point out a lot of this can be addressed in the pregame when you talk with your face-off guys. So at least going into it, make sure you check with those people that you were talking to at the face-off. Are you the only ones taking face-offs? If they say no, bring everybody in. So at least then everybody is on the same page.
Thank you, Matt.
Yep, I agree. I do the same thing from college down to U10. Exact same speech. Here's how it's going to be. We're going to do it like this. The only thing I would say, what I have found that works well for me is that when you say the word set, only 3 people in the world should know that you said the word set, the 2 face-off guys and yourself. Because if you say it loud enough and authoritative, like Steve's talking about, and I know what he's saying, you may make them jump. And if you yell set out and somebody moves and you blow the whistle and you don't call somebody for illegal procedure, you're going to have a coach in your ear instantaneously.
Or sometimes they jump after the down. You say down.
Yeah.
And then they jump. And it's like, well, he violated. It's like, no, we haven't even said set yet. So it is audible, but it's a controlled audible. You have a very captive audience there.
We had that two or three times on Saturday.
Yeah.
What,
the college game?
The players jumped on down?
No, they were adjusting. They were adjusting between down and set, and the sideline was looking for calls on the guy going early.
It's like, no.
It's like they don't even have a clue what's going on.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Because they can't hear it.
Yep.
It was probably Randy's fault.
It was.
No, I think it was Mark. I think it was actually Mark. It was on the face-off when I told the sideline to settle down.
As officials, if players are constantly jumping on your call or your partner's call only, then get some feedback from your partner or the face-off guys, because you're doing something that's throwing them off. Because players will adjust, but if they are jumping multiple times with the same official, that's something that we're doing that is different. And so ask for their feedback. It's like, hey, I've noticed that, like, I did the last two face-offs and we had violations. What am I doing that's messing you guys up? And sometimes they'll be like, oh, I didn't hear this, or, you didn't blow your whistle, or you didn't say down. There's a lot of guys that'll be like, they didn't hear set, and so they were late, or they were early, or but I was with an official the other day and he had 5 face-off violations on the 5 face-offs that he administered. So it was something that he was doing, and neither of the other two officials.
He was perfect then, Steve.
Huh?
He was perfect then. He was 5 for 5.
He was 5 for 5, baby. It's like the kids walked up and they're like, we're going to violate because this guy's administering the face-off. And what he was doing was he was putting him down, and then he was saying, like, backing up and saying set, and then trying to blow his whistle. And the kids they were down there for way too long. And so they went early every time. And so it was just like, and his movement was something that was causing that. So,
yeah, I mean, we have worked enough games together, Don and I, and if I have more than 3 violations in a game, I'll go, what the hell I'll actually ask my partners, what the hell am I doing wrong?
Yeah. So communicate with your partner, you're going to communicate with your players, and you can set that in the pregame. It's like, if I'm doing something, tell me, because I love having face-offs, and I want face-offs because that's part of the game, and possessions are important. Face-off whistle. The down and the set command are given with your whistle in your mouth. The whistle tone to start play should be short and sharp. The tone and volume of whistle is affected when you try to take the whistle out of your mouth while you are blowing it. Learn to give the face-off commands and watch the play with the whistle in your mouth. A lot of newer and developing officials use a finger whistle, and they blow their whistle and they're pulling the whistle out of their mouth while they're still blowing it, and it goes, whoo. So learn to blow your whistle. You purse your lips together and it's a puh. You got to really put air into it. It's not a blow. You're not blowing out birthday candles, but air from your diaphragm, and keep the whistle in your mouth. If you have a finger whistle, take your hand away from your mouth and just hold the whistle in your mouth and give your commands. Randy said that he officiates most of the game with it. As basketball officials, we always have our whistles in our mouth. When I'm refereeing lacrosse, I hold my whistle. So I hold it like this, and then I put it in my mouth, and then have my face-offs. So if you haven't blown a whistle or don't have a lot of experience with it, practice. Because your whistle tone and how you use your whistle can cover up a lot of ignorance. Because if you sound like you know what you're doing, people are going to believe you. If you blow your whistle authoritatively, short and sharp, people will be like, oh, he's on it. And then they look at you and you're standing there with your back straight. You're going to be like working on Memorial Day. Comments, questions, tips, anything? For my officials coming over from other sports, how important have you? What has been most important about learning to blow your whistle? Don Felder? How's it helped you?
The slow whistle's probably been the hardest for me.
Okay.
So like holding in football.
Yeah.
The very first time I threw a flag for holding, I blew my whistle and instantly went, "Oh crap!"
You're like,
You need to let that play develop, and so not being too quick with the whistle is probably the biggest hurdle I had to overcome.
Do you use a finger whistle attached to your fingers? Do you carry it? Do you use a lanyard?
No. You get laughed at in football for a finger whistle. So it's a lanyard, and whistle's always in the mouth with your tongue kind of at the tip of it. So kind of helps you hold the whistle and not inadvertently blow the whistle. It's kind of that in wrestling. But for lacrosse, I'm told a finger whistle is kind of the way to go. So I have that for this sport.
Yeah, you got to figure out which hand too, because if you use one that's on your fingers and it's on your right hand, and you throw your flag with your right hand, that's a skill you have to figure out, because you're going to have to grab it with different fingers. If you have it on your left hand, on your offhand, then you got to figure out where to put your timer. That's why, those are things you got to practice with.
Yep, and just so you know, Don, you'll probably blow your whistle on when you throw a flag in lacrosse. Everybody does it. It's just part of the growing process.
Unfortunately, there's also a shortage of officials in football, and I got thrown into a varsity game, like my second game ever. And that's when I blew my whistle inadvertently, and those coaches, I thought they were going to crucify me. It was pretty rough.
All right, Don, for what it's worth, I used to do football in California, and because the mechanics are different, there are more inadvertent whistles in my experience in Wisconsin high school football, because they want the wings to measure progress and stop the ball instead of guys in the middle.
Yeah.
And so your part of it is the training, and so, or lack of training. So that's going to be, that's your alibi, dude. You're like, I'm not even supposed to be looking there, so it's not my fault. So there you go. So your face-off whistle, practice blowing your whistle. Practice down, set, whistle. And it is short and sharp. It's not a whoo, don't die off at the end. The face-off execution, let's watch some Maryland versus Syracuse face-offs. This is going to be, let's go full screen. Can everybody see this? All right, balls down.
Yeah.
Okay, balls down. He's from that position. This is why we don't encourage the 45, because his partner is at the 45 and they're across from each other. So from there, you can go straight back or go along this line. His whistle's in his mouth. If we look, the players appear to be in a legal face-off position. Their feet are behind the line, or at least White's right foot is off the line. I can't tell about his left foot. And the Maryland player, and Black, his right foot is definitely behind the line. His left foot appears to be behind the line. Palms are up. The hand appears to be off the plastic. They're wearing their gear in where it's designed to be worn. What else are you seeing? What else are we looking for?
That their hand's not on the plastic of the cross.
Good. Yep.
It looks like they've already vacated the neutral zone.
Yep. So he hasn't said down yet. They're going to go down together. In college, the players have to start with the cross above their knees. In high school, they do not. But let's see what happens. He goes down. What are we checking for in the down position?
That they're not creeping over that line.
With what?
With their cross. That the cross isn't like on an angle over the line.
Okay, so you want the cross head straight up, right? And so again, this is my criticism of the 45 degree, because you can't tell. The best look that he has right here is he can see this space between their heads. He can see if they go early there, and he can see if they go early on with the if they clamp early.
So that's why you like that position right on the line, because it gives you a straight line of sight to the crosses and how they're lined up.
Right. And so in the lacrosse or in college now, they want the helper at a 45, which would be in this area here, and this person either here or back here. Mm-hmm. So they do not want people across from one another, because you're looking from the same angle. So the players are hands off the plastic. From here, we can see hands off the plastic for the player in white. It's tougher for him to see if the player in black if his thumb is off the plastic. One of the things that's happening now is a lot of players don't want to put their right hand or the hand closest to the head of the cross down. All 4 fingers have to be in contact with the ground. So players they'll flex the head, but they will not put their fingers on the ground. And so that is not a legal face-off position. So you can remind them that all of your entire hand must be touching the ground. So we do that quick scan. From this position, you can see whether they are violating the neutral zone. The neutral zone is you want an equidistance from above the cross's head. Like all of this is nobody's body is in that area. So let's see what happens. They go there. Now he gives a command. He was like, move your left foot off the line. So the player moves his left foot off the line. From this position, does it look like the player in white, his hand is in contact with the ground?
No.
I'm not sure, but we can definitely see that the player in black, the Maryland player, his fingers are on the ground.
Because of the angle it's coming in at, too. You can kind of the way he's scooping underneath that cross.
Yep. So down set, they're set. He moves his foot again, and then they go. And that's as quick as it happens. That was an easy face-off win. We have a settled offense, and we're ready to go. Let's watch another one. He is perpendicular to the line. He's got a great look. That's Randy's personal friend, PJ. So he says, down, look at this player's hand, look at his left foot. The other official had already talked about his left foot being on the line. We had noticed that this hand may not be in contact with the ground. So let's see how PJ handles this. It's down. He's going to look vertical. He moves him back off the line. And then they go. So that's 2 face-offs, and there's been 2 adjustments to white. I'm wondering if the third official comes in and administers the face-off, is he going to talk to white again? So now white has been talked to 3 times. So that is one of the challenges that we have is as in a 3-man system where we rotate, you may talk to a player multiple times. But in high school, it's going to be the same official in a 2-man system administering that face-off. And so you can talk to the player, you can talk to the coach, and you can take the ball away. This play is interesting. We have a clamp by the Maryland player in black, the counter by white. The contact is within the vicinity of the cross and low on the hands. This is where officiating and adjudicating the face-off can get difficult because you have 2 players that are in close proximity to each other trying to gain control of the ball, and one is using his cross to try to dislodge or disrupt the players who won the clamp, his possession. So this player is on the gloves, and here it looks like he's above the gloves, but on the arm. generally, and I'm asking for opinions for other more experienced officials, how high do you let this guy counter? Do you have it's not a foul until it is a foul, or do you have an area it's like, oh, he's maybe now 5 inches above the glove, so then it's a foul? How do you judge this? Don, how do you judge this on that counter? Don, Roar.
Depends how quick it is and what I see.
Okay.
To start. I mean, where it is right now up on his wrist, if he's just holding it there and the guy's not disadvantaged, there's nothing. But if he's pressing into that, into his arm or wrist, and he can't get the ball out, then it'd be a hold.
Okay.
But I mean, with the face-offs, I mean, some of those guys are so quick, and the action is there, and then it's gone.
Right. I mean, let's see how fast this is.
That's right.
Yeah, let's see how fast this actually is. So it should cut here. Come on, get away from this. No, we don't want that. Where'd it go? Okay, let's see how fast this clamp is, or that counter. It's nothing. Mm-hmm. So it's like in slow motion or stopped. It was, oh, he's in a possible foul, and then it affects the player in no way.
Yeah, I mean, Steve, you know this, but for the newer guys, what you're really looking for is there downward pressure by the person who doesn't have the ball on the stick of the guy who does have the ball, and or if he's mad that he just got beat, does his stick come up under not the forearm but between the elbow and the shoulder, trying to rip the guy's arm off and get to the ball? You're going to see that a lot, and that's where the foul is. But it's going to happen just like that, and you're just going to learn to recognize it.
Let's watch one more. So we're still in the first period. Now this is the third official, and let's see if he adjusts White, because White has been asked to move his left foot and then his stick. From this position here, it looks like his stick is touching the line.
Is that Himes?
No. Oh, so White went early, but he didn't. This guy didn't adjust White's stick. But anyway, all right. So there's some examples of what it looks like and how quickly things can happen. Where did my slideshow go? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, guys, as the helper, never adjust a stick or help the lead official. You can say, straighten up or stuff, but never go in and touch anybody, especially as the helper.
That's a safe sport violation. All right. So in a two-man, here's what happens. We have our face-off. The administrating official, if the ball goes in the direction of the arrow, is going to clear himself of the play. If you have time to go wide and then settle into your position on GLE, that's fantastic. If it's a fast break, you got to chase the players down. So if the ball goes to the administering face-off official's left, he's the lead. If it goes to the right, then the helping official becomes the lead official and does his best to get in proximity of GLE, and then the play settles. So single-side official is responsible for normal trail responsibilities, off-ball penalties, late hits, etc., until the trail gets into position. In a two-man trail or a two-man settled offense, gold indicates our areas of primary responsibility. Any contact, this is your primary area of responsibility for the trail. That means you have to get these fouls. This is your primary. The lead can help. 2 flags in the blue triangle. If there's going to be 2 flags anywhere, that's the area that we want them. Anywhere that's kind of borderline in this area. You don't want 2 flags on a hit out by the midline because the lead shouldn't be looking there. And so as the lead, when the ball is in this area, we are really working to keep our head and our body position facing facing the open area of players like this. The trail, you have all of this. So the trail's movement can be back and forth along the wing line. It could also be diagonal as play comes towards the center line. Instead of chasing the play in, you could just drop back into work this 45-degree angle here between the sideline and the midline, and that keeps your head all in this crease area. In a two-man system, when there's a shot, the trail has to stay on the ball. And one way to always keep your head on the ball is to have your hips at a 45-degree angle to the goal. So you move like this. And so that way, your head is always on the shooter and always on the ball. Or it's always on the shooter if you're moving like this. If I'm moving like this and the guy shoots, my eyes could follow over here and I could miss this contact. So I would encourage you to learn to move diagonally as the trail. As the lead, again, your movement is back and forth along GLE, and your hips are open. And your left foot is on a line, an imaginary line, goal line extended. So wherever the pipe is to this area, you're going to put your left foot there and your right foot a little bit above it, and your head and the bill of your hat are always going to be looking in this area. Questions, comments, concerns? Two-man, ball out of bounds. If I am the lead, my trail was here. The lead has the inline. We have good eye contact on this corner. If the ball goes out on the sideline, the trail is going to blow his whistle. If the ball goes out on the inline, the lead is going to blow his whistle. Lead, you have the far sideline all the way down. This official will have the inline on his end and the sideline all the way down. There's only two of you in a two-man system, so those are our four lines. If something happens in this area, look up, try to get eye contact before making a call. Because if you're the lead, say we're going this way, and there's a tip, and the lead is trying to get down here and doesn't see the tip, and then the ball goes out on his inline or in this corner, sometimes you blow your whistle and you pause and you don't make a signal yet. If you've officiated other sports, you've learned how to cheat, where it's like you blow your whistle and then the players will tell you who had the ball. Because if white's going this way and white doesn't go after it, that means they saw that the player touched it up here and it's the other team's ball. So if they start dropping back, then you can be like, hey, okay, it's the other way. So watch the players if you're unsure and get eye contact with your partner first. Three-man face-off movement. The administrating official is going to be the single side. If in this middle face-off of the Syracuse, Maryland, you saw the official start here and then work out wide and then come in. The helper official is headed towards his goal line in the direction of the arrow. If it is a faster break, it is more important to get to the goal line than to get out wide. A lot of times you get out wide just to avoid players, because there might be a wing guy here. You have this, if the ball is in this area, you have the attackman and the defensive players that are waiting for possession to be called. So this method this path could be changed depending on what is happening with the play. If the play is going this way and you are the third, if you are the field judge over here, you just wait until subs happen. You don't be in a hurry. It's two-man until the helper official, the last official, gets on this side of the midline. So it says the wing official becomes the trail official. Allow all substitutions to clear before moving into the trail position. And then in three-man, here is our coverage. Single side has half the field and all the way his whole sideline, and is helping assist. If a play starts from here, he's going to have primary area of responsibility on dodges from this far corner. Lead has this is his primary area. Trail has this primary area. If you have three flags in the blue area, That's okay. That's okay, because especially up front, because this area, all of our eyes should be looking there. If they're running an offense that comes through the high crease area, through the high slot, all of our eyes are looking there because that's where we're supposed to be looking. Ball out of bounds. Single side has his whole sideline. The lead official has the inline. This gets tricky. This area in transition between the sub box, the middle of the field, and here. This is it can be tricky and confusing because people are running around and both might be on the line or neither might be on the line. So this is something that we got to talk about in our pregame. How are we going to handle balls out of bounds near the attack lines? I would suggest that as the old lead, I get out to my sideline and then my new lead goes to the goal. So if I'm in transition from old lead to new trail, my movement is out towards the sideline because I want my new lead not to worry about this sideline. I want them to get into position closest to the goal line. What questions are there? Comments, concerns? All right, friends, it is 7:58. You have 2 minutes. Thank you for your attendance. Don, you want to talk about the clinic?
So really great for new people and inexperienced officials. And next week, Friday, the 20th of March, at UW Oshkosh, the Dome there, a couple high school teams are playing, and we're going to use that as a on-field training for new officials. It's from 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock. You don't have to be there the whole time if you don't want to be. If you want to be, that's great. If you can sign up, get some great experience. They're going to do some situational stuff with settled offense, which is a great way to learn. And then they're going to do some full field stuff. Really be a good way to learn especially if you are hoping to do college this year as a brand new official. And then the following day, the 21st, there is a college game at Carroll, which myself and two other WILOA officials will be officiating the game, and then Steven and possibly other people, maybe not, will be there watching the game and going through stuff while the game is actually taking place and answering questions. And then also those officials are invited into our pregame before the college game. So a really good way to observe a game, to see what's going on, and then also to get thrown out into the field before the season starts and get some experience.
And so you sent an email with that information this evening, correct?
Yes. So that was in an email that went out earlier this evening with a reminder about the training this week. And there's a Google Doc to sign up.
Awesome.
So if you're interested, please sign up. If you have questions, reach out to me, or you can reach out to Steven there.
Yep.
Also.
So next Friday, Don and I will be there probably between 6 and 6:30. If you are interested, maybe we can arrange a carpool so that we don't have a bunch of different people driving. And I think, and then Saturday at Carroll. And so welcome and
are you guys, Steve? Are you and Don working that game, or are you just going to be there observing?
Mara is looking for officials, and we are. If there's officials to train, then we're training. But Don and I are going to go up and be prepared to work or partner with someone.
Yeah, because I'm looking at it right now in Arbor. That somehow it got sent down to southeastern Wisconsin, so I put it back in Bay Valley.
Yeah,
I haven't seen anybody move on it, so I just.
Right. Well, it didn't sound like Mara was really looking for people because it's not a paid opportunity or something.
Okay.
So
that's what we were told earlier today.
Okay.
But if it's training, then it's a different aspect for us.
So Nathan, you had a question about do college officials wear headsets? We're not allowed to wear headsets. Don't ask why. I don't know why. It's silly. Wear them in every other sport.
The Espinosa rule.
No. So.
Yeah, it seems like that would be a good way for you to get an idea for problem people on face-offs. So everybody would hear it,
right?
You know,
so we don't wear them. If you work with me in high school, we will wear them in high school.
All right.
So yeah, I like using radios. I use them in everything but college lacrosse and box. And so, well, thank you, everybody. Thursday there is another training for returning officials. We will be talking about a little bit more about settled offenses and where to look and making sure that our eyes are there, and also field of vision. So that's one of my big things is field of vision. You're welcome to join us, and if not, then we will see you next Tuesday for our new officials training. Good night. Thanks for everybody, and talk to you soon.